of September 18th to order, and if you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of Michigan and to the state for which it stands, two beautiful peninsulas, united by a bridge of steel, where equal opportunity and justice for all is our ideal. Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Shippers.
Here.
Spolman.
Here.
Ingalls.
Here.
Meinhardt.
Here.
Mayor Folk.
Here. At this time, I look for an approval of the agenda.
No changes. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Councilmember Spolman.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
Meinhardt.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. This time, we'll open the floor for public comment. We do ask if you come forward that you state your name for us and then write your name and address for the clerk, and limit your time to 3 minutes or less.
Hello, Council. My name is Richie Harris. I live at 124.5 Air Street, which is now Pigeon Alley because of the granary they've put over in our area, which is, I guess, good business for the city. But what I come to ask is one of those little pigeons that flies around over there has left a note and a message that said that the state Supreme Court has denied your appeal, and I just wondered if you'd be talking about that at all tonight. Thank you. That was on the Terry D project too, by the way.
Seeing no one else, we'll close public comment and move to the approval of the consent agenda. This evening, we do have the minutes from the regular meeting that was held on September 5th, along with the minutes from the closed session that were held on September 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Ingalls.
Yes.
Meinhardt.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Spolman.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. That takes us to some communications for this evening.
Yes, the first request is for the display of a banner from October 16 to October 23rd, 2017 for National Friends of the Library Week.
I'll make a motion to approve the display of a banner from October 16th, 2017 to October 23rd, 2017 for National Friends of the Library Week.
Support.
Councilmember Meinhardt.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Spolman.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries.
The next request is to approve the parade route for the Cadillac High School Homecoming Parade to be held on October 6, 2017 at 5 p.m. with parade setup at 4 p.m.
I'll make a motion to approve the parade route for the Cadillac High School Homecoming Parade to be held on October 6, 2017 at 5 p.m. with parade set up at 4 p.m.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers,
Yes.
Spelman,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes. Motion carries.
Next request is for the closure of Lake Street between Cass and Pine from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on October 14, 2017 for the fall color train.
Okay, I see that we have our friend here.
Yes, it's that time of year again.
Yes.
Here requesting the street closure for our passenger safety as well as any other visitors in town. And as far as I know, when I checked earlier today, tickets are still available for the side trip we're running. And any ticket information is available at michigansteamtrain.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I already have my 2 tickets purchased for that.
you
They're
have
taking
tickets?
Ann and Lucas.
Have you ever gone?
A long time ago when I was a kid, I think, or when I was younger.
What was that website again?
michigansteamtrain.com.
I'll make a motion to approve the closure of Lake Street between Cass Street and Pine Street from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on October 14th, 2017 for the fall color train.
Support.
Councilmember Spelman,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Shippers,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. City Managers Report.
Thank you, Mayor Filkins and members of the City Council. I'm very proud tonight to have this item on our agenda. It's been quite a long time coming, and I'm very happy to publicly talk about how tonight you're going to be asked to consider the approval of a sanitary sewer service contract with the Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority. The Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority is an authority that provides the sewer infrastructure and through a contract with the city, or will be doing through a contract with the city, the treatment of sanitary sewer services for areas located within Clam Lake Township, Selma Township, and Cherry Grove Townships. This has been something that we've been working on and discussing for quite a number of years, and certainly this is something that would not have been possible if not for the strong efforts and commitment by the Cadillac City Council and the leadership that the council provided in getting this done. Specifically, Mayor Carla Filkins, Councilmember T.I. Shippers have been a part of a group for quite a while that's been meeting with their subcommittee and putting all of this together. This is really something to celebrate. If I'm not hitting that point home clear enough. The sanitary sewer service contract that we're looking at putting in place is one that's going to provide for treatment for 21 years to the area that I previously defined. At the conclusion of that agreement, or certainly before the conclusion of that agreement, the parties can get back together and choose to either extend the agreement or enter into a new contract. There are about 5 other key points that I'd like to share with the council regarding the agreement that we came to with them. And there's really no particular order as I run down my list. The agreement calls for a flow capacity of 140,000 gallons per day. Currently, the area uses about half of that, and so this would certainly provide them with more than enough capacity on a moving forward basis. The agreement requires that if the area should do any additions, new connection points, new construction, that it would have to abide by the city's design and construction standards. Billing for these services will be on a monthly basis, and annually, the Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority will need to disclose to their users in writing how much they're charging them from the authority, from the authority piece versus how much the city is charging. So as a for instance, when a user within the authority area gets their bill, it may or may not have a combined total rate, or they may simply have separate line items. I don't know, and that's okay. The city doesn't have the right to tell them how their billing has to look. However, as a part of the agreement, on an annual basis, they are going to be notifying all of their users how much of what they're paying is going as charges from the city versus charges from the authority. I think that's good information that you'd want to see. Similar to when Cadillac residents get their bills, it's broken out line item by line item for the charges that the utilities are for, whether it's for refuse or recycling or water and sewer. It's all broken out. Additionally, the authority is going to continue to be responsible for the local sewer system within their service areas. And so what that means is, should they have a pipe break, a main break of some sort, should they need to do capital improvements, those responsibilities and the cost for doing that are still the responsibility of the Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority. The Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority could certainly look at contracting with whomever they want to be the vendor or the company that goes in to do the analysis or to do the repairs. That vendor at some point in time might be the city. It isn't currently, but it certainly could be in the future. But even if it were to be the city, it would still be the responsibility of the authority to manage and maintain that infrastructure. And last, but certainly not least, with respect to the rates. The rates are equivalent to the city rates over the life of the agreement, and as the city rates change from time to time, their rates will automatically adjust. And so what's been talked about in the past with respect to the previous agreement that was in place, the rates basically got stuck, and that created a significant dichotomy between what Cadillac users were paying versus what out of city users or non-residents were paying. This brings parity, which is really I think a great success for the community as a whole. This is truly a great agreement for us to be entering into. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be here today asking the City Council to consider it. This is something that the City Council should be out championing along with the Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority as a way of bringing closure and as I said with the city attorney in the past, buttoning up a long-standing project in a very amicable way. I think it's something that would be wonderful if, down the road with other issues that we're looking at putting to rest, if we could come to amicable terms where it becomes a win-win, for all parties involved. This is truly an ideal situation. This will, again, provide stability for all of the folks that live in those areas, for the next couple of decades. And certainly as time goes on and we get closer, then again, it would be revisited and, either extended, or we would look at renewing under another contract, or a newer contract. I'm not sure if there's any questions anyone has.
I would just like to say, you were talking about all of the hard work on the part of the council, but I don't want to miss not recognizing the fact there was a lot of hard work on the part of the Lake Mitchell Sewer Board too.
Oh, of course.
So I really appreciated those conversations and the work that went into that.
Along with Jeff Dietland and Marcus, and you get people that when you're talking for 6 years or so, trying to come up with an agreement for something that was very difficult and ended sort of badly, shall we say, name the elephant in the room. The previous contract ended rather badly, and so we came in trying to find common ground and build trust. And I so appreciate the staff's effort on that and the mayor's. And also I learned more about sanitary sewers and wastewater than I ever thought I'd be interested in, but now I know it.
I don't know, but I don't think this would have happened without some of the creativity involved in putting this together.
Exactly.
Like when, what rates start, and how that all worked out. I think that was like the linchpin
Speak in
that,
your microphone.
that finally moved it in the right direction so that we could come to an agreement. So thank you all for your constant work on this. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was, as Mayor Filkins, you just said, it was truly a team effort on both sides. It takes, it takes two, right? And so,
Actually, about a dozen.
yeah, about a dozen, right? So,
Well, given that, I would like to make a motion.
Before you do that,
Okay.
I do have some more questions.
Okay.
When I look at the motion, it refers to exhibits A, B, and C, and where are those referenced
Sure.
in the contract?
So the first part is under section 1.1, which is the definition section. So it goes through exhibits A, B, and C. Exhibit A will be the depiction of the service areas on maps. The maps are being created by the Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority's operation and maintenance provider, which is Wade Trim. I haven't seen those maps as of yet, but we have a pretty good idea of what they will look like. Exhibit B is a location of the local sewer system and those connections with the city system. And Exhibit C will be certified copies of resolutions from the townships agreeing not to withdraw or dissolve the sewer authority during the term of the agreement. And then those are referenced in other places in the contract as well.
Okay, thank you.
All set? Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the sanitary sewer service contract between the City of Cadillac and the Lake Mitchell Sewer Authority dated September 19th, 2017, with an effective date of May 14th, 2017, and to direct the mayor and clerk to authorize the execution of the same, provided that the city manager first administratively approves any necessary technical revisions to the contract, but only so long as such revisions are not substantive revisions that affect the overall purpose, intent, duration, or rate structure of the contract. And the city manager reviews and approves exhibits A, B, and C, as explained, to the contract when they are received from the authority.
Support.
All right. Teletubbies.
did your baby call you?
I'm on vibrate, but it. Tell him we said hello.
There was a motion in support.
Councilmember Ingalls,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Shippers,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes,
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries.
21 years. Won't have to do that again.
Just,
I think maybe a point of clarification too, why it goes back to May 14th is because that's the end of the old contract.
correct. And we said from day one that we would make it retroactive to that date. Also, just as a FYI, the authority board will be considering their adoption of this agreement at their meeting tomorrow.
Yeah,
Great.
good.
So,
What time is that meeting tomorrow? Do you know?
I don't.
I'll find out. Never mind.
It's 5, I do believe.
5 o'clock.
Okay,
Okay,
ready? Thank you. Mayor, and members of the City Council. Under adoption of ordinances and resolutions, we have a couple of items tonight. The first item is adoption of a resolution regarding the Cadillac Fire Department Explorer Program. This is a new program that we're looking at putting in place in our community. Your packet includes a new member booklet that provides a lot of details regarding the Explorer program itself. But in summary, the Explorer program would be a program within the fire department comprised of individuals that are 14 years or older, but capped at 19 years of age. They have to be out of 8th grade or past 8th grade. And it will essentially provide them with an introduction to fire services. And if you go into the Explorer booklet itself, I wanted to just read a couple of the mission and value statements. The Cadillac Fire Department and its Explorer Firefighter Program will work in cooperation to educate, protect, and serve the youth of Cadillac and surrounding communities. The mission statement is to maintain a safe environment for youth to gather within the community to learn about many aspects of the fire service and to provide avenues for positive social interaction for youth within the program and for youth within the community. The vision for the program is the following. We will be a model for fire departments with Explorer Firefighter Youth programs to introduce the young community to the fire service and to provide a safe environment for social activities for youth within our community. And then as the booklet goes on, there's information regarding code of conduct, membership requirements, attendance policies, and so forth. Our fire captain, Fred Osborne, is here this evening, and his son, I think, as well, virtually. Yeah, he's here. Yeah. Should you have any questions, but this is a great initiative that the Cadillac Fire Department is looking at implementing, and kindly request the City Council support through a resolution.
I think it's a wonderful program to bring to the city, and we have the Mayor's Youth Council, and I think that introducing our young people to the operations here at the city at that age is really important in helping them understand career choices in the future, what they might like to do. So, thank you for putting that together.
I have one question. In the membership requirements, it talks about be in good health and provide a sports physical or Boy Scouts of America physical. Is there a girls equivalent physical? Or, see what I'm saying?
I do. I don't see that language in there, but that's something
Number
we can
two?
work on.
Yeah, if you could, I don't know if it's,
This
but
program is through the Boy Scouts, that's why it's written this way.
it is non-gendered? I mean, girls
Oh,
can
yeah,
join
of
this
course,
as well?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. In order to do the program, does it have to be through the Boy Scouts with their language? Or can we amend it to make it more gender inclusive? You see what I'm saying? I'm so aware of that.
Is it not gender inclusive?
Well, when you add in good health for the sports physical, that's everybody. But a Boy Scouts of America physical equivalent leaves out. Go ahead.
If I may, when I was in Boy Scouts Active, there's a newer program called Venture Scouts, which are both boys and girls. It's a combo that is through them. I think if you replace the Boy Scout with Venture Scout,
That would be
which is
fabulous.
actually the exact same thing, except it's
It's
or
not,
both.
it's good, and then girls can get that too. Fabulous. I would like that very much. If I don't
It
know.
says in the next section, TI, females may have longer hair. So,
What is it?
So,
Oh, longer hair.
number 2 in the next section, it
Neatly
talks
trimmed
about-
and above the shirt
Yeah,
collar,
and then females may have longer hair. So,
just like you would have to on the job.
So how long is the program, Fred? How often do the youth meet?
Twice a month.
Twice a month?
Twice a month on our training nights. One night a month they'll be training alongside us. The next meeting, I believe, they have on their own.
That's so sweet.
And then how long does it last? Like during the school year or,
I think it's year round.
oh,
Could be
okay.
year round.
So I couldn't hear you. The first night, they'd be here on your training night, and then the second night, they would
The
be here.
training component, we haven't really had an opportunity to work. We're going to work that out as we go, just because it's all brand new. So I think what we're thinking is we're going to train with them they're going to train with us one Tuesday a month, and then they'll train on their own another Tuesday.
Oh.
So they'll do, kind of hand in hand, but it's going to depend on what we do, whether or not it's worth for them to join us.
Right, okay.
So we're all just diving in together, seeing how it's going to work out the details we go along. We modeled this program after 3 or 4 different programs around the country, and we just kind of took the best of what we could find.
This is so
Good luck
great.
with it.
This is just
Something we've lived on to do
fabulous.
for years.
Yay.
And we can make that change into the booklet. So.
I know it's nitpicking, but I've just become so aware with,
But throughout the rest of the document,
It's good.
it says his/her.
I know,
so
I got
yes,
that, I got that. So that, what is it, it's explorers or ventures? Ventures,
Mhm.
that's cool,
Okay.
thanks. Oh,
I guess I do have one other question. Is there a cost for the program?
There's an initiation fee, but I think it can be waived in certain circumstances or maybe sponsorships. They'll never turn anybody away for the cost, is what they were told me. Probably a lot like what Boy Scouts probably already does.
nice.
But it's like 25 or 35, something like that.
So if someone was interested in sponsoring a youth, they could contact the department or something,
Sure.
maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution regarding the Cadillac Fire Department Explorers Program.
Support.
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes?
Spelman?
Yes.
Ingalls?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. This next item is another item that very excited to talk about. In fact, all the items today have been just wonderful for the community. This next item is the request to adopt a resolution that'll set a public hearing for 6 o'clock on Monday, October 2nd, which is your next regular City Council meeting date, regarding the amendment of Brownfield plan that we currently have in place. The Brownfield plan currently in place that we're looking at amending is the metal Castor Brownfield plan, a plan that was put in place in August of 1997. That company no longer exists, but for historical purposes and because that's what the plan is called, it's still called the Metal Castor Plan. The Cadillac company that is currently there is Avon Protection, and Avon Protection is in the process of acquiring about 5 additional acres that will help their company continue to have a strong base, if you will, here in Cadillac. They, as a part of this acquisition, need to expand the brownfield, and in order to do that, you need to amend the plan. The Cadillac Brownfield Authority met earlier this month and unanimously approved the plan amendment moving forward. This is the next step in that process, and so at your next meeting, as a part of the public hearing, the Brownfield consultant will be here to get into further detail regarding what this means, how the brownfield itself is a tax increment financing tool that will help encourage and create the economic incentives for the company to continue to reinvest and expand in our community. And so, again, the action for the City Council to consider approving this evening is simply the setting of that public hearing that will then facilitate that process for you to actually consider and approve the brownfield amendment itself.
So this is an extension of one that's already existing?
Correct.
So is there any increase in taxes?
Well, that's not a yes or no answer. So the yes, but the increase gets captured by the brownfield that then is used as a way of reimbursing eligible expenses that will occur on the site that in turn creates the incentive for the company to do its expansion and to make its project viable. After a period of time, the brownfield capture disappears, and then those additional tax revenues come back to the city in full. But the way that the mechanism works is that for a period of time, eligible type expenses get reimbursed through the tax capture of the additional increment that is realized because of the level of improvements that are made to the site. And so it's almost like to a degree, a circular argument, because the improvements wouldn't necessarily be made if not for the ability for this incentive to be in place. And so while the city will certainly continue to receive tax monies and revenues from the company that's on site today, the improvement that will be made, that incremental difference, they won't see till after the brownfield is done with the reimbursement provision. And that's where, when we get into some more details as a part of the public hearing, some of those questions I think will be addressed. Or they will be addressed, I should say.
They have to be.
So, yep.
I'd encourage you guys to take a drive out there and see the Western Concrete property. It's all cleaned up.
It's all cleaned up? Great.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution regarding the amended brownfield plan, metal casters, Avon Protection, Western Concrete, and set a public hearing for October 2nd, 2017.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers,
Yes.
Spelman,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor for the second public comments.
It's me again, Richie Harris, 124 and a half Fair Street, and I just have a couple questions. I mean, maybe you'll answer them later, maybe you won't. About 5 years ago, some of this sitting council did a study over your chief to public safety director. They spent thousands of dollars on this study. The result, if I remember right, was it was better to run with a two-chief program. And now here we are again, and that's all I read in the paper is how we're going back to this public safety thing. I guess my question is, have you really went back and looked at that thoroughly to understand why we spent all that money prior? And now here we are right back at the same resolve, some maybe 5 years later? One more question before I burn up my time is, I'm really disappointed in the council from a standpoint of, the pavilion was a wonderful, wonderful project to be done, but I'm very disappointed that the Vietnam Veteran Coalition tree and monument are gone, and nobody seems to know where they are. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no one else, we will close public comment and move to good of the order.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. To address a couple of the comments that were made today in public comment, that was the first I heard about a monument being gone. Trees were relocated, or removed, I should say, as a part of the renovation of the Rotary Performing Arts Pavilion in order to create clarity so that there was no sight distance issues or impediments from center stage. But monuments that we had were relocated off to the north side where we have the flags reinstalled. And so I know that the city was in touch, and I might have the name of the group wrong, but I believe it was the Honor Guard, or might have been the American Legion. But I know that we were in touch with a veterans group locally in town with the relocation of the plaques that we had. So I'd be happy to look into that, Mr. Harris, but I wasn't aware of anything missing, and this is the first time that I've ever heard of that. With respect to the public safety study that was mentioned tonight as well, a study was done a number of years ago after our prior public safety director resigned. The study developed recommendations for a variety of different models and how best to implement, regardless of whether you went with a two-chief system or a director system. And it showed some potential cost efficiencies, whether they were realistic or not. It didn't necessarily pay homage to collective bargaining agreements that were in place, but it still showed how there were some cost efficiencies that could be gleaned regardless of what structure we went down the road with. And so, and as the city council knows, we were in a place with having one chief and then a captain for a few years, and now we're going back to having a director of public safety that'll be maintaining the leadership position over both of those departments moving forward. With respect to the Terry D. Lawsuit, there wasn't any further, adjudication or oral arguments. The request for a rehearing was denied, and it brings the matter back, or remands it back to the circuit court at this point. And there's no further update that I would have on that right now. So, just wanted to mention, thank you all for being out there this afternoon at our groundbreaking ceremony. I thought that was wonderful. The plan is for work in earnest to begin this fall on site at the market. While we don't have a completion date known yet, a lot of that's going to depend on weather conditions and materials being available. We are eagerly optimistic, thinking that it'll be done in early to mid-spring, but again, it's really premature for us to come up with an end date at this point for that. But we're very happy that you were out there. And likewise, the new plaque recognizing those platinum donors that put in $5,000 or more as a part of the Rotary Pavilion project. Equally proud to be there to witness that event. So thank you, and appreciate all of your time and efforts with it.
It's been a busy week for city business. Spending a few days last week in Holland at the Michigan Municipal League conference, and it was a fabulous conference. It was, Holland is a beautiful city, I think, and it gave me a lot of ideas in my head with things that I'd like to see happen in Cadillac. The conference was really good. We learned a lot from a lot of really good speakers, and we had the race for the cup for the Community Excellence Award. We did a great job with that against 3 other municipalities in the state, and unfortunately we didn't take the cup home this year. But I think we were probably in second place.
Oh, I know we were.
We talked to so many people who loved the project and who said they voted for it and they wanted to learn more about it. So that was great. And then in addition to the ribbon cutting or the groundbreaking and celebration this afternoon, this morning, council met with the owners, the Japanese owners of Piranha Hose, and had a really nice meeting there, and we're able to get to know them a little bit better and kind of recognize them for their contributions in the community regarding that manufacturing facility. So that was really nice.
And just to clarify for the public, it wasn't a public meeting that the council attended. It was a breakfast that Piranha sponsored and invited us. We were simply attendees.
He's trying to say I probably shouldn't have said anything.
No. Not unlike being attendees at the Michigan Municipal League convention.
Right.
So.
Right.
Good.
I just want to remind folks that the Mayor's Youth Council will meet this Wednesday in these chambers, and we've gotten some new applicants. We've had some graduates, and that the Youth Council is expanded to reach out to youth in the townships as well. When we first designed it to be just within the city, what we didn't realize is how big a circle of friends the children, the youth in the community have, and the we had several people that were interested in joining from outside of the city limits, that we had to say, no, talk to your townships about setting your thing up out there. And then we just decided, this is something that's working really well here. In the spirit of cooperating with townships, why don't we start it when they're youth, so they're working together and talking to each other already. So if you live outside the city limits and have been in the past or are now interested in becoming a member of the Mayor's Youth Council, you need to be a high school student between ages, 14, so freshman to senior, and or if you're homeschooled, those ages, and attend school or live in the city. There are applications here at the municipal complex, but I believe there's a link online, am I right? There's a link online that you can just click on and find out all about us. So come to the meeting if you're interested this Wednesday, and check it out. Thanks.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the conference down in Holland and learned quite a bit of new things down there. It would be nice to implement in the city of Cadillac. And then we had the ribbon cutting for the Sound Garden last Friday, and that looks really nice. And we've had some beautiful weather.
Yes,
Yes, we have.
the moon this morning. Did anybody see the moon this morning? Check it out tomorrow morning. It's a sliver, and it's rising in the morning right near Venus. It's like they're together.
Okay,
Nice.
check it out.
It's a beautiful thing. If you get up early, which we did this morning.
Yes, we did.
You gonna go over this, Mayor?
I am.
Robert
I
and
was going to.
Beer Fest.
Yep. Yes, so there is going to be, our Dog Park Advisory Committee is going to have, I think probably, this is their third open house, isn't it, since they've opened up? But they're having an open house on Saturday, September 23rd, from 10 until noon. And they want folks to bring their dogs, and they'll have treats for the animals, and they really want to show people what's been accomplished, and they want to encourage people to use the park more. So if you have time to get out to this event, I think it'll be really wonderful. So, and I just want to point out that this dog park wouldn't be there right now. It wouldn't be possible without the community support. And this group of volunteers, this Dog Park Advisory Committee, group of volunteers in the community who are passionate about creating this space for animal owners and animals. And it wouldn't have happened without that group of volunteers, so it's pretty amazing. So thank you. This weekend is the Craft Beer Festival, and I think the weather's going to cooperate. And I think I've seen that they're still looking for volunteers, so if anybody has time and something fits your schedule, that might be a good thing to do. We always do the gate, and that's always fun. People are excited to get in there.
I volunteered to help set that up too.
Oh,
so I'll
good,
be there
yeah.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, so that's fun. I do want to shout out a congratulations to Chris Lamphere and his wife on the birth of their baby girl. That's pretty exciting. Again, just talking about the opportunity that the council had this week or the end of last week when we went to Holland. It was so amazing to be able to go down to a city like Holland with our peers from across the state and be one of the finalists for the Community Excellence Award. And we all worked hard, and we got to just talk about Cadillac. And I think we're going to have some visitors coming, so we'll do it up right. But I know, West Branch and some folks want to come and see what we've done here. And because they've been thinking about it, but they haven't done it. So we encourage them to come up and see us.
Ludington.
Yep, that was another one. Yep,
Nice.
couldn't remember them all off the top of my head. Who?
Gaylord.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I was thinking Gladwin. Gladwin was
Maybe
one of them,
Gladwin,
yeah.
And even the Hudsonville people, the winners, were actually really nice and
Yeah.
interested in our project.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Sherry, you know, your take on the whole thing was really good. And the other thing that I would add is that, you know, Cadillac was in the top 4. We were number 1 after the popular vote, so we really felt like we all won at that point, but that the community won at that point. But going down there, the 4 projects that competed down at the conference, all of the other, well, one of them wasn't really an infrastructure project. It was a great bike program.
It was.
That was a great community thing. But then the other 2 projects were kind of like ours. And but the thing about those 2 projects, which were amazing, they were done by developers. So somebody came in fact, at the one booth, the developer was there. He was doing the presenting. So where I'm going with this is the fact that our project, we were in the running with our project. Our project is totally homegrown, grassroots efforts to raise the money for that project, and the community did that. So that's what was really special about our project. So I think we already won.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it belongs to the community.
It does.
It doesn't belong to an entrepreneur or a developer.
Yes.
It belongs to all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was really special. Okay, so we have no closed session this evening. Does anyone have anything else? It's been a very busy 5 or 6 days, so thank you all for all your time. So, okay, with that then, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.